Greetings once again, Shinobi. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, where previously we got to see some of the events that led up to where Boruto was now. His training with Sasuke, the encounter with Code, where we saw Sasuke take Code's eye, and the first event that led to one of the Clawgrim absorbing Sasuke, turning into a pseudo-divine tree. And we got to see that Boruto has been training with Kashin Koji, which has helped him develop so much. Kind of interesting how Boruto ultimately did end up training with Jiraiya to a certain extent, but we also got to see a congregation and a conversation with the God Tree, how they've named themselves, kind of variations of who they previously were, and how their leader, Jura, who we still don't know who he's based off of, pushes them to find their own goals and wants. Jura has a desire to absorb Naruto. The one based off of Moegi, Matsuri, has a desire to absorb Konohamaru, more than likely because of Moegi's infatuation with Konohamaru. Bug, who takes note of the fact that Ada is observing them, decides to target Ada, more than likely because of his, pseudo-infatuation with her because of her ability. And Hidari, the one based off of Sasuke, chooses to go after Sarada, though this just raises even more questions about who Jura is based off of. Meanwhile, Sumire talks things over with Amado, who has already reasoned about the change in the world, as he notes that the karma implanted in Kawaki is the one that contains his daughter's consciousness, and though his brain tells him that Boruto should be the one he originally put all that ninja tech in, that ninja tech is in Kawaki. Inexplicably, Amado decides to trust the facts, rather than his own memory. Naturally, Sai is listening into all of this, and by proxy, Shikamaru, showing that while Shikamaru has disregarded a lot of the things that Sarada has said, make no mistake, Shikamaru is still highly intelligent. He's no fool, and when push comes to shove, he's got it where it counts. He's forming his own opinion, and it might just be that he discovers the truth of the situation. Meanwhile, as Sumire talks things over with Sarada, Boruto arrives, who is still melancholic because ultimately Sasuke sacrificed himself to save Boruto, but he is met with nothing but comfort from his friend. So it seems as though many are starting to understand the bigger picture, at least those with a monochrome of power. And though the greater world might be against Boruto, those who matter most are starting to understand. Will this be enough? Join me as I find out what happens next, won't you? Alright, Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, Chapter 6, 3 years. I don't know why I read it like that. 3 years. Thanks for reminding me. That's a long time to miss out on a lot of your friends and family's lives. I don't know who I feel more sorry for. Boruto, Naruto, Hinata, Himawari, Sarada, Sasuke. It's really hard to say in the long run. And where's Sakura? That's what I'm still wondering. A good cover page of Shikamaru. Probably hating every moment of being Hokage. Oh god, you guys are still alive? I guess I would have known that if I watched Boruto, but dang, you guys were already old before. Y'all must be pushing almost 100 at this point. Yeah, Homura and Koharu. Okay, I've never actually learned their names before. So Shikamaru meets with Homura and Koharu, the Konoha Council. Koharu says, "The traitor Boruto, eh? Why has he returned when he knows we want him dead? For having killed the Hokage." Shikamaru explains his motive is unknown, but looking at the result, it's undeniable that Code was only driven off with Boruto's help, and he hasn't reappeared since. Homura tells him, no matter the circumstances, Boruto at the very least must be eliminated. This issue reflects on the Konoha honor, especially in regards to the attempted murder of Uzumaki Kawaki. They said still allowing Orochimaru to be out there, although it's a duplicate of Orochimaru ultimately, so the daimyo are all beyond furious. Never mind the next fiscal budget. The continued existence of our village is in danger. Oh, wow, it's getting political. Shikamaru tells them, "Yes, I'm aware, so with your leave." But as he gets ready to go, Koharu calls out to him and says, "It has been 3 years, the period you yourself designated. Stop dallying and formally accept the title of Lord Eighth." Oh, so he hasn't even fully accepted the position. I think he knows something's up. I don't think he fully believes Naruto is dead. Koharu says, you're weakening our position not just with the Land of Fire, but the other villages as well. Shikamaru pauses and then says, I shall report in again soon. Have a good day. We then pick up with Shikamaru smoking in his office. Dude, at least go outside. When there's a knock at the door, he tells them enter. It's Ino, still looking pretty good, saying, I brought what you asked for, Shikamaru. Here's the data. Shikamaru says, thanks for the personal delivery. Ino hands off the document saying, why did you want it? This mission log's from so long ago. Shikamaru says, well, call it curiosity. He then makes a motion with his hand, saying, thank you, Ino. You can go now. But Ino seems to pick up on something, pauses, and then leaves, closing the door, and as she walks away, they get in mental communication. Ino asking, the log was just an excuse, right? So tell me, what's this really about? Shikamaru tells her, I don't want the sensory unit listening, nor Ada, Kawaki, or Amado either. In fact, don't let anyone else in on this convo. Ino tells him, sorry, but it depends on the content. You know that off-the-record transmissions are a violation of regs. Shikamaru tells her, Ino, Konoha's safety hinges on this. Do as I say or else we're done here. You're the only one I can ask. Ino takes a moment, obviously not sure, but says, yeesh, fine. What do you want me to do? Alright, okay, see. People have been really critical of Shikamaru, at least some of the people I follow, in terms of this series, but this is still Shikamaru. He has it where it counts. Oh, we then pick up at the home of Kawaki and Ada, so he still lives here, huh? Then again, I can imagine why he wouldn't stay in the Uzumaki residence. They seem to be having a meal, with Kawaki asking Ada 10 tales that have developed self-awareness. Ada explains, that's right. I don't know how or why they got that way, but they are evolving into a completely different being than they normally would. Kawaki then asks, what about Code? I thought that bastard was controlling them. Ada explains, Code's run off somewhere. They're now out of his league anyway. They're monsters. Plus, the troubling thing is that they're not just after Otsutsuki, like you and Boruto. Kawaki and Damon listen intently. Ada continues on saying, for whatever reason, they want to kill 7th Hokage Uzumaki Naruto too. Which, there you go. That's the buzzword. What you gonna do now, Kawaki? Your beloved Hokage is in danger. Ada then pauses and then brings up, and me as well. Naturally, Kawaki kind of just brushes this off and asks her, why Lord 7? What exactly are these bastards after? It starts to feel like it's obvious that Ada's feelings toward Kawaki are getting more and more mixed as time goes on, and Damon's just angrily chewing away at his food. Ada then explains that, I can't tell yet. Kawaki then says, no matter. Lord 7th is in my hand. Whatever these things are, I'll get rid of all of them. Ada then pauses, thinking, but Damon then interjects, saying, hey, Kawaki, Boruto and Sasuke are the only ones other than us who know the Hokage is alive, right? Kawaki doesn't respond, but Damon continues saying, and though no one likely believes those two because they're considered criminals, if those claw-grim monsters come here looking for the Hokage, wouldn't someone eventually figure out that you lied? Ooh, Damon's asking the shrewd questions, okay. But Kawaki doesn't respond. Damon continues on saying, not that I really care about what happens to you, unlike Big Sis. Ada then perks up saying, stop it, Damon, don't say such things. But Kawaki takes a moment, then gets up and goes to leave. Ada asks, Kawaki, where are you going? As Kawaki goes up the stairs, he says, leave me alone. Just spy on me if you want to know. And Ada watches him leave. As he goes out the entrance and puts on his jacket, he then notices Mitsuki standing at the doorway. He then says, God, you're all so annoying. Mitsuki explains, it's my job to guard you and Ada. If you have a problem with it, take it up with Lord 8th again. Kawaki says, don't shift the blame, you hangnail. Oh, Mitsuki. I don't really like him in this position. It's unfortunate, just because of the nature of a lot of things with Mitsuki. I know he's probably had a little bit more development in the anime, but I just hate this position for him, because I feel like I barely ever got any of him in the manga. Shoot, Mitsuki almost feels like the Sakura of the team. Regardless, we pick up with Boruto and Sarada sitting while Sumire watches. Sarada looks over at Boruto and thinks back to their little hug and she blushes for the shippers. Sarada thinks to herself, I didn't mean to throw myself at him like that. What should I do? There's so many things I want to ask, but I don't know how to start things off now. Sumire, noting the tension, takes a moment and then sits next to Boruto and then asks, it's been 3 years, right, Boruto? I'm glad you look well. Boruto smiles, saying, yeah. Ditto, class rep. He turns to Sarada, saying, same for you, Sarada. Though I never imagined you'd jump at me like that. Sarada's startled, and then asks, can you blame me? Do you know how worried I've been? Boruto says, true. I'm so relieved you're okay, both of you. The two girls are obviously worried. Sumire asks, but Boruto, are you sure you should linger here? Boruto explains, I've erased my chakra signature. The sentry unit won't detect me, but I'm sure Kawaki will notice at some point, so I don't have much time. I came here to tell you about about Sasuke. Sarada listens and then asks, did something happen to my dad? Boruto explains, Master was absorbed by Ten-Tailed. However, across the way, Kawaki, he notices. And Mitsuki notices Kawaki noticing. Kawaki explains, I feel it. Boruto's presence. He's here. Mitsuki's arm forms into a snake. Meanwhile, Sarada asks Boruto, absorbed? You mean he's been turned into a tree? Boruto says, yeah, Master sacrificed himself to let me escape, so it's my fault he got taken down. Sarada looks away, thinking about this, but Sumire interjects, saying, a lot of villagers were attacked by Clawgrim, and they became trees too. What's up with that anyway? Why are they devouring those who aren't Otsutsuki? Boruto explains, the fundamental purpose of the Ten-Tails has always been to devour chakra, of any kind, instinctually, and then to eventually devour an Otsutsuki, whose chakra transforms that Ten-Tails into a divine tree. That's how it's supposed to go. Sarada turns to him saying, supposed to? Boruto tells her, for whatever reason, they've already started evolving into divine tree. Yeah, something different. It's because of what Code did. The Ten-Tails is being used in a way that it was never meant to, so odd results. Who knows? Maybe this is how the Otsutsuki came into being in general. You never know. Meanwhile, Mitsuki gets in contact with the sentry unit, asking for Lord 8th, namely Shikamaru. The sentry unit says, incoming Mitsuki for Lord 8th. Connecting them now. As Shikamaru gets the communication, he questions, Mitsuki, what is it? Mitsuki explains, Boruto is here, somewhere in the village. Kawaki picked up his aura just now. Shikamaru thinks for a moment and then asks, he didn't trip the sentry net, so how can he can erase his chakra signature now, like Kawaki? He explained. Mitsuki tells him, he has got to be towards the south. Can you please ask Ada to pinpoint his exact location? Shikamaru then asks, hold on Mitsuki, where's Kawaki? Oh geez, I didn't even notice that. You've seen the downed Kawaki. As Mitsuki explained, I will head to where Boruto is. Remember, Boruto can detect Kawaki's aura too. Kawaki isn't suited for pursuing Boruto. He'd be alerted as soon as Kawaki got near. Man, how do you take him down so fast? Jeez. What a way to drop the ball, Kawaki. Mitsuki then says to Shikamaru, please, Lord 8th. I don't want to lose him. Meanwhile, Sumire asks, what do you mean? And Sarada finishes questioning, they've started evolving. Boruto continues on, telling them, I don't know exactly how or why, but there's a strong possibility that Code's chakra is affecting them via the Clawgrim. Sarada questions, Code? Boruto tells him, he may not be an Otsutsuki, but he's got the karma that came from Ishiki, which is a lump of Otsutsuki essence, so it having some effect wouldn't be a surprise. Sumire then notes karma. Suddenly, someone gets in mental communication with Boruto, calling out to him, saying, Boruto, I'm using mind transfer jutsu. Answer without speaking aloud. Try not to change expression either. Boruto notes, Old man Shikamaru? Shikamaru tells him, let me say this right off. The sentry unit is not involved at all. Ino Yamanaka personally connected us on a private line. It's a unofficial transmission that won't be logged. And we see Ino very worriedly connecting them. Meanwhile, Sumire calls out to Boruto and Sarada asks, hey there, hello? Are you listening? Boruto continues his conversation, saying, I hear you've become Hokage, so are you sure you should be doing this? Shikamaru tells him, some call me Lord 8th, but it's only out of convenience. I'm still only interim Hokage. I haven't formally assumed the title yet. Boruto then tells him, That ain't what I asked. And on what basis should I trust you? Shikamaru tells him, just quit arguing and get out of there to start. You're about to have company. And Boruto then notices as suddenly a snake wraps around him, taking him a bit off guard. As the snake goes for the devour, or the bite, Boruto unsheaths his sword, sends it flying, and then uses Flying Raijin to teleport himself to his blade. That is so cool. Escaping the snake's grasp. As Boruto lands, we see that Mitsuki is already in his sage mode. Boruto looks back and calls out to Mitsuki. As Mitsuki says, we finally meet again, Boruto. I've been waiting for this moment. Sarada gets up with Sumire and calls out, Mitsuki, wait, listen to me. But Mitsuki tells her, I don't know what lies he's fed you, but move aside, Sarada, right now. I can't control my strength. Sarada tries calling out to Mitsuki, but he sends out several chakra snakes towards Boruto. Boruto readies his sword and infuses it with purple lightning, cutting through the snakes. The irony of these two fighting, considering Mitsuki, the son of Orochimaru, Boruto, trained by Sasuke. The irony is very much not lost on me on that. Boruto cuts through the snake's heads. Then, Mitsuki buries his hands into the ground using Striking Shadow Snake Assault. Boruto, seeing what's about to happen, jumps in the air just as the ground beneath him cracks open. Giant monstrous snakes go flying towards Boruto. Did Boruto just... Is he standing on the clouds? The hell? Okay, I need to see that animated because it kind of looks like he's standing on the cloud. Or he's at least paused himself in midair. As he's out of reach of Mitsuki, Mitsuki calls out, Gah, Otsutsuki bastard. Boruto, he sheaths his sword and calls out to Sarada. Sarada's ears perk up, and Boruto calls out, I swear to rescue Master Sasuke and everyone else who was turned into trees, as well as what? As he looks into Sarada's eyes, he turns away saying, no, never mind, I'll be back. And he flies off. As Sarada watches, she calls out to Boruto, while Sumire says nothing. And Mitsuki does much of the same. Snake just kind of pops out of his shirt though. I wonder if there's any relevance to that. Boruto then gets back in contact with Shikamaru, saying, if you really wanted to talk to me, you could have made it so we wouldn't be interrupted like that, old man Lord Eighth. Shikamaru tells him, Kano is bent on eliminating you, whatever the cost. And it's not just the village elders, the entire land of fire is in agreement. Thus, it would look out of place for me as Hokage to stop Mitsuki. Boruto asks, saving your own skin, eh? What exactly are you aiming to do? Shikamaru explains, there are things I can see and do simply because I'm Hokage. So while I can't aid you openly, there are things I can do to support you in my own way. Plus, I want your help. Boruto says, no thanks. But Shikamaru tells him, hear me out. You're actually Uzumaki Boruto, aren't you? Ino's taken off guard by this, and Boruto says nothing. Yep, there we go. Ooh, there we go, Shikamaru. You know what's up. Shikamaru then tells him, and I apologize because though I say that, I'm still having trouble accepting the notion myself. In fact, it didn't even occur to me until Amado brought it up, that my own memories might be fabricated. Oof. Just listening to this like, wait, what? Shikamaru continues on saying, it's a far-fetched theory, but things start falling into place. Things make sense when you flip your position in Kawaki's. Ino thinks to herself, what the heck? Is he being serious? So Shikamaru asks, tell me the truth, Boruto. As Boruto lands a ways away in the forest, he looks back and tells Shikamaru, I've traveled quite a long way from the village. I should be beyond Kawaki's range now. How far does the mind transfer jutsu reach? Shikamaru thinks and then tells him, in Ino's case, I think about 100 kilometers around the village. Why? Boruto says, I hate to break this off, but I've got a loose end to tie up. Oh, as we see a snake hidden in his clothes. Man, Mitsuki pulled the same thing to Boruto that Boruto pulled on Code. The only difference is Boruto kind of saw it coming. Oof, and we see Mitsuki racing through the forest towards Boruto like a man possessed. And Boruto calls out, sorry, but I'm gonna have to get a little rough with you, Mitsuki. This does kind of suck, though, because it makes Mitsuki more of an annoyance than anything really fun. Because Mitsuki's operating under all these false assumptions. Like, even Himawari caught on that something's not right here. It makes a certain degree of sense that not everyone would be catching on that something's up, but what needs to be done so that Mitsuki can understand? Because I hate that this is still going on, because it's really going to paint Mitsuki in a negative light for a good long while. And Mitsuki, again, as far as the manga goes, because I still haven't really watched the anime, Mitsuki has never really felt like he's been this glowing example for a lot of people, like this real positive force. I mean, when he's with his team, yeah, we love Mitsuki, but on his own, without his team, it's just kind of like, oh, yeah, Mitsuki. At least that's how things are from my perspective as a manga-centric reader. If you've read the anime, let me know. How do you feel about this direction for Mitsuki? Not to mention, this is a terrible matchup considering what Sasuke did to Orochimaru. I mean, if Boruto is even slightly that well trained by Sasuke, Mitsuki ain't got this. And if Mitsuki ends up getting his butt kicked easily, then what does that say about Mitsuki? It's so weird that my central argument is just, man, Mitsuki is gonna get the raw end of this no matter what happens. But it's the truth. But this chapter really elevates Shikamaru because it's just like, yeah, Shikamaru knows what's going on. He gained the intel, he understands the situation, thought about it hard enough, and it's just like, okay, so confirmation that nothing is what it seems to be. I mean, we really took a hell of a 180, but I feel like Shikamaru knew in the back of his mind something was up, but I don't think he said it in front of Sarada, because, like, he can't publicly say that to a lot of people, you know? Side that, you know, Boruto is not a criminal and all that. I really am wondering where this is all going. And I'm tired of Sarada sitting on the sidelines for so much of this. I at least feel that maybe Sarada should be the one to hold off Mitsuki to some degree. But I can understand her reluctance to do that as well. I mean, let's face it, Mitsuki is not under his right mind. I mean, with Kawaki, you know, we know where a lot of his rationale comes from. Misguided, very wrong, and, well, screw that dude to a certain degree, but understandable. But Mitsuki, he's essentially brainwashed. And I never liked plot lines like this to a certain degree, because it's like, ugh. But I'd feel the same if this was Konohamaru coming after him too. Which, considering that Konohamaru's role, now that he's been targeted, makes me wonder how he's gonna be involved with all of this. And Damon did bring up a good point. What happens when people start to figure out that something's not right and Kawaki lied? I wonder if there's a way to change things back. Or is this just gonna be Boruto's life from here on out? Because this chapter really made it clear. Boruto is enemy number one. He's essentially the Orochimaru here. And it would take literally a world-saving event that he's a part of to get some form of pardon. Which, I mean, feels like the name of the game going forward. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Also remember to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Till then, bye-bye.